Parth. It's great having you in the studio today. So tell me in your own words, what does Dassana do?
So what Dassana does is pretty simple. You bought security tools, right? Enterprises buy lots of security tools. How do you measure ROI? How do you measure efficacy? How do you quantify all of your risk? That's what we're going after.
Fantastic. So tell me, how does Snowflake fit into that picture?
Funny story. So we actually had built our own security data lake, and we realized that Snowflake has amazing capabilities. We don't have to worry about data engineering. Snowflake supports the connected model, which means a customer can own their data, which from a security standpoint is very important. And so Snowflake is our security data lake. It's our engine, and we are the cockpit that sits on top of it.
I love that analogy. So you mentioned a connected app. Tell me, what is the difference between a traditional SaaS application and a connected application?
A typical application gives you all the services that you need. You don't have to worry about anything. But when we're talking about security, that also means that that's yet another data silo. In the case of the Snowflake connected model, the customer can bring their own Snowflake, which means they own all the data, and we literally just sit on top of their data lake, making that data lake vision of theirs a reality.
Beautiful, beautiful. So tell me more about, you mentioned that you've built previously your own data lake solution. Tell me about that transition from building your own to migrating and moving everything to Snowflake and some of the scaling that you've done there and things like that. Tell me more about that.
Absolutely. Why we moved, there were several reasons. One, when you're talking to large companies, the ones that are modern, using Snowflake in the cloud, they don't want you to break data silos only to create yet another one. And so we built our own data lake, and we were creating yet another silo, and that was something that didn't fly. So that was us listening to our customers. And that's where the Snowflake connected model comes in and shines. The second one was we were spending a lot of time doing data engineering. And we're trying to deliver a solution to our customers. We don't want to focus so much time on data engineering. And the process to move to Snowflake was actually elegant. At first, we decided to use Snowflake because of the tech. It was just extremely powerful, extremely performant. It could handle any kind of scale. But eventually, our decision was because of the people at Snowflake. Every single person I have worked with or my team has worked with is a gem.
That really does make a big difference, especially, I notice you're wearing Snowflake Startups t-shirt. So tell me more about that. What is the Snowflake Startup Program?
The Snowflake Startup Program is how, essentially, as a customer, you can get into Snowflake and start leveraging Snowflake and also Snowflake's resources. And so we entered the Snowflake program not too long ago, a few months ago, and it's been so much fun working with everyone. We're starting to see lots of momentum, lots of traction, lots of good conversations. So we're very happy with the decision that we made.
Fantastic. So you mentioned, you're part of the Snowflake Startup Program. Tell me a little bit about the history of Dassana and where you are as a company. When were you founded? What is the growth trajectory that you're on right now?
Me and my co-founder, both of us were part of this early team at Redlock, which was another startup that we did. And in Redlock, we were going after the cloud security posture management space. And that space started to blow up, and now this product is called Prisma Cloud, and it has a lot of cloud capabilities. But one thing that we learned was, as we were scanning the cloud and helping people find issues in the cloud, fatigue became a big issue. People were starting to use lots of security tools, and they had no handle over their alerts. And so that's kind of where we were like, hey, how do we come and solve this problem holistically? And we founded Dassana in 2020. We got investment from Dell Technologies, and so we did build our own security data lake, and as of February this year, we've moved over to Snowflake, and we're starting to see good traction.
That is really exciting. So I want to dive into, from here, the architecture that you've built. So moving to Snowflake, tell me more about the architecture that you have now on Snowflake.
Absolutely. I guess before I jump into the architecture, I wanted to just spend a moment to explain to you how we got here, right? The journey that we took. So a lot of the founding team of Redlock actually is the founding team at Dassana as well. And when Redlock was used for cloud misconfiguration scanning. And back in the day when we started it, there was a handful of schemas in the cloud. We built ETL pipelines, pulled data into a database, handful of APIs, UI. That was CSPM 1.0. It was great. And then this space started to rapidly evolve. It became multi-cloud. There was more services than ever before in the cloud. And I think we were one of the first ones to build like an asset inventory and all these other features to bring the multi-cloud story together. We started to hit some issues at like multiple layers in our architecture, whether it was the presentation layer, API layer, data ingestion, and sources. And then we actually got acquired by Palo Alto Networks. And in Palo Alto Networks, we acquired a bunch of other companies in like Twistlock in the container scanning CWPP space. We bought Bridgecrew on the shift left side. We built our own IAM module. And it was our job to essentially unify this entire cloud offering. And what we realized was several things. We couldn't keep up on the source layer with the evolution of tech. Our ETL pipelines were pretty heavyweight. And this is prior to inventory APIs even existing in the cloud. So we were one of the early ones in the space. We had fragmented insights. We had the same APIs over and over again, and it was taking us a while to build things. So at Dassana, we took a different approach. What if we brought everything into Snowflake? Not just that, but put it all into a single table. All assets in one table, all findings in one table. Once we do that, well, if everything is in one place, you just need one API to deal with everything. And couldn't keep up with the evolution of tech? Well, what if we just focused on pulling the raw data? When you're picking and choosing what data you want, it becomes harder. But if you're just bringing all the raw data and you care, see, now more than ever, data quality matters. And storage is cheap thanks to Snowflake. So let's just get all your data because you never know what future use cases that might enable. And from an ETL pipeline standpoint, if what we realized was the transform or the normalization of data is what was very time consuming. We made that a content problem because now that we have all the raw data, well, normalization becomes very easy. And so we have these extract only lightweight pipelines. And finally, on the presentation layer, if you have a single API, building any kind of UI is easy. That led us to these two key insights of having a schemaless engine and a flexible cockpit. And that's how we built our platform. It starts with your security ETL journey. The first step we need to do is make sure you get all the data, make sure it's high quality data, and we get that all into your Snowflake, which is our engine. And then that engine powers our cockpit, which helps you achieve that security control effectiveness, that quantified risk across your organization, down to the business units where every single team gets a prioritized list of the most pressing issues they need to fix to keep their business safe.
I really love how clearly you have described this architecture. And I really love how you even talked about how you moved the transformation layer into Snowflake. I see that over and over again, how more and more people are moving the raw data directly into Snowflake and then doing the transformation pipeline layer directly in Snowflake. That way you get to keep both the raw for any later transformations or anything like that. This is a really powerful architecture that you've built. From here, let's see a demo.
Absolutely. So customer's journey starts with our security ETL. You just go into your favorite sources, paste in an API key, and you're all set. Whether it's vulnerabilities, whether it's your assets from the cloud, we can pull it all in and we make sure we get all of that raw data. Once that data starts flowing into Snowflake, you get self-serve analytics. We have out-of-the-box dashboards that can give you visibility into SLA breaches, the different kinds of issues, to custom dashboards that we've built for our customers where, hey, what are the blind spots in my environment and how do I rectify or remediate these issues? What's amazing is that we've made it so that it's self-serve analytics. You don't have to know SQL. If you don't know SQL, it's as easy as just click, 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 build a chart. Or if you're a power user, don't worry. You can use fully compliant Snowflake SQL on our platform to build whatever charts you want. It's about getting those security insights in a matter of minutes. And where we're going with this is soon enough, we're going to have this deployed as a native application on Snowflake so that customers can get started in a matter of minutes, easy deployment, and get insights right away.
So that's pretty amazing. Tell me more about, you mentioned early on that you moved to a connected app, right? How does the architecture change when you have a Snowflake native app?
So how the architecture changes is that with the native application, all the compute runs in the native application. And from a customer standpoint, they don't have to deal with procurement. It's as easy as going to an app store, hitting a button, and boom, you're ready to go.
Beautiful. So tell me more about how you're using generative AI in your platform today.
Absolutely. So if you don't mind, I'll start with an analogy. Let's say that you have some jewelry at home and you have so many assets, be it digital assets, your banking, your cards, your home, wherever you're living. You need a way of saying that, hey, my home is a very critical asset. That's what I like to call business context. The second aspect is, let's say that you left your door unlocked. From a predictability or exploitability standpoint, can I look at past data and say, hey, have there been any home break-ins lately? And if there have been, I can say that, hey, there's a high chance you will be exploited. But what if you had a front gate in front of that door? Well, if that gate's locked, no one's getting in. So it's not just business context and exploitability or predictability. You need something else, reachability. And we're taking all three of these concepts and bringing it together on our platform. So for example, we're pulling in vulnerabilities from all of your sources. In my environment, I have CrowdStrike, which is vulnerability scanning and intrusion detection. I have Tenable for vulnerability management and Prisma Cloud for my cloud. And so let's say that I'm dealing with vulnerabilities. I have 65,000 issues in my environment. I can do simple things like what's in production. Let me look at just my host vulnerabilities. How much of it is patchable? How much is exploitable? How much is trending on Twitter? This is good. I brought 60,000 down to 347, but can we do better? And this is my favorite feature. This is the power of taking different data sources from different silos, putting them together and saying, if I have a host vulnerability, can I look at any incidents that happened in my environment and see what's going on? And boom, I'm down to 2 issues. These are the 2 things that my team should worry about. And we give you everything. We capture all of that raw JSON for you so that you have all of the data. And we also triangulate this information across your different sources and give you all of that raw data and normalize it all for you. And so where we're going with this is, it's those 3 pillars of business context, predictability, reachability, taking the 3, building a decision tree to help teams triage, and then building our AI and ML models on top of it, because eventually the experience should be like a black box. You come in and it's like, what are the 3 things that I need to fix? Think of a credit score. And let me show you a quick example. Like if you have a credit score, your credit score is about what is the behavior. You see, you go buy something expensive. That doesn't make you bad. But in the security world, a lot of risk scoring products basically are like, well, there's a new 0-day vulnerability. Your score just goes down overnight. But if you can stay on top of your work and you get things done on time, hell, you should be rewarded. That's how we're thinking about this. So taking this data, helping you understand what are the 3 most important things to fix and how can you stay on top of your credit or your security behavior score or your security control effectiveness.
I love that. And this platform that you've built is incredibly powerful. And it seems like you are really ingesting a tremendous amount of data that's all powered and built on Snowflake. Tell me more about, some of the features of Snowflake that have really made an impact to the development of your platform.
So Snowflake's architecture added a lot of resiliency for us. The way Snowflake does things is you can ingest data, you can stage it, and from there you can do your transform or normalization in transit before it goes in. And this adds a lot of resiliency because you have all of that data backed up in an S3 bucket. From a performance and scale standpoint, Snowflake just automatically handles it. I mean, it's beautiful. We literally have to do 0 data engineering now. We're able to focus on the solution customers want instead of having to focus on the infrastructure. So absolutely amazing platform, and with all the exciting stuff coming down the pipeline with native apps, your partnership with NVIDIA, we're looking to leverage those features because this is where security is going to go.
Yeah, I love that you brought up the NVIDIA partnership and bringing the GPU compute workloads directly inside of Snowflake. I mean, that's going to be a big game changer for both inference and training. Tell me more about, over the next 6 to 12 months, what should your customers get most excited about that's on your roadmap?
So we're trying to get to a point where every team gets that one list, and they already can get this, but helping orchestrate all of this so that at any point, whether it's your board down to the engineer, everyone is in the loop, everyone knows what needs to happen, and everyone is staying on top of their data. And the beauty with Snowflake is We're leveraging other capabilities like data sharing. We're building threat intelligence from so many sources. We're just going to share that table with all of our customers. And we're working together with our customers to build that out so that we can create this like central intelligence almost that everyone can share and leverage and use for better prioritization so that they can cut through the noise. I mean, look at how many notifications we get even on our phones today. What if I told you I could install something and I'm going to tell you the 3 most important things exactly when you need it? Would you buy it?
That sounds pretty powerful, yeah.
That's where we're going.
Awesome, awesome. I love that. So, Parth, where should people go to learn more about Dassana?
Where should people go? You can go on our website, and through our website, you can join our Slack community, and feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, anywhere. My team, our team is always available, and we're happy to help in every which way possible.
Parth, I want to say a big thank you for joining me here today in the studio. For everybody, if you want to learn more about how to build your next application on Snowflake, be sure and check out developers.snowflake.com. And if you want to see other technical interviews like this with technical leaders in the space, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. My name is Daniel Myers, and this has been another episode of Powered by Snowflake.